And we are
We're
live.
live. Let's go.
Welcome everyone to the first episode of AirCon. This is really fun and I'm really excited to do this. I'm
I
Aphodix.
I'm
This
I
is
am too.
Kem.
I am also Chem. Well, I am Chem.
And
Yes.
we're still getting used to this. Right now, this is both of us just talking on Discord. Hopefully one day we could do this face to face, but right now you gotta work with what you gotta work with.
Oh yeah.
You wanna take it from here, buddy?
I do want to take it from here because I have a little secret that I haven't told you about. So,
Okay.
every great podcast has a nice little gimmick, a little hook, if you will. So, I went to this gas station near my house and I got me some 5-hour energy because I heard this thing was like cancer for you, and I want to see if it's actually that bad. I've never had
Okay.
it before. Um,
So you're about to just chug some 5 hour energy.
I am. The thing only has 4 calories, so it's diet friendly, I guess.
It's diet friendly, I'll give it that.
It kind of smells like radioactive bubblegum. So
It's probably the
I'm
Hulk's
just
favorite.
yeah, I'm just gonna wing this here.
You're gonna get wired.
It's really hard to drink, like surprisingly hard.
Now
All
I
right, I
wish we
am
had
down the
cameras.
entire thing. Yeah, oh God. Oh Jesus. Oh, that aftertaste is like
Not
it's
that pleasant,
terrible.
is it? Is
It
it
is
worse than
oh
Bang?
it's worse than Bang.
And I like Bang, so that's surprising.
Oh yeah. Wait. Okay. All right. So, Aphonics, how about you tell us the topic we've prepared for today?
Yeah, so inaugural episode. Most of the time, I've seen a few episode ones of podcasts, and it's getting very slowly integrated into things. It's a bit of a trope, so we're doing common tropes of movies, games, TV shows, books, you name it. We want to know what is overused, what's underused, and how bad and obnoxious can these get. So I have
And
a
I heard
few
you
of these
prepared a little
pulled
list.
up, and I'm excited to see how this is going to go.
I am too.
So I pulled up on my second monitor overused tropes in movies, and our first one, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm looking at BuzzFeed because
Oh no, you poor soul.
this is these are incredibly over opinionated people. No offense to anyone at BuzzFeed. We love tasty videos, but this is going to be obnoxious.
All
So,
right,
21 movie tropes and cliches that people hate because they are way overdone.
all right.
Um, let's see here. I've not heard of half of these. So I want to know who wrote these and who put these on Reddit. Because these are pulled from a subreddit. If your plot
All
can
right.
only be maintained by your characters not having a simple conversation to resolve things, you're a bad writer and I don't like you.
You know, sometimes I actually kind of feel that. Like I'll be watching like a movie, I'll be like, wait, if these dudes just had like a conversation, maybe it
Yeah.
could, maybe things would be better. Like, I watched the first Iron Man again recently, and I genuinely I feel like if like Jeff Bridges had like a conversation a bit with Tony Stark, like it
Yeah,
would
if
the whole
staying
thing from
in.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
you could have
his whole
avoided
thing was like
Ironmonger
really
and a
dope.
death
Yeah,
or two.
you could have, and sometimes it's really annoying because like you're thinking, wait a minute, I could resolve this issue, and I'm a fucking moron, you
Yeah.
know?
It's like, I mean, I think that's kind of like what the Falcon and the Winter Soldier did when they finally did that episode. I think it was 4 where they literally just sat down and had therapy.
Yeah, no, oh, that was episode. either one or two, where they were
No,
like in
no,
the
not
prison cell.
not just Bucky, where the therapist had Sam and Bucky sit right next to each other.
Yeah, I know, and they had to like lock their legs.
Yeah, was that might have been
It,
two.
it was two, yeah.
I keep forgetting it was only like a 6 episode series.
It's super short, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot you can resolve with that. Mostly with the MCU. Um I feel like whole Batman and Superman could have probably been solved by that if Kal-El and Bruce just sat down and talked instead of I'm gonna punch you to death with kryptonite.
I feel like the Star Wars sequels could have also been solved, in The Last
Even the
Jedi towards the end.
prequels.
Yeah, even not really the prequels because that's a bit more political, but
Yeah,
remember the scene in
mostly
The Last
episode 2
Jedi
with Anakin's
where
plot.
yeah, remember the scene in The Last Jedi where Kylo's having that like small conversation with Rey at the end? I feel like if
Yeah.
Kylo were just like a bit more like thorough with his explanation instead of just saying "kill the past."
Yeah, let the
I
past
feel
die, kill it if
genuinely
you have to.
I think he could have made a pretty convincing case.
Yeah, I
Now,
think so.
if I were Kylo Ren, right, I would be able to get Rey on my side in a heartbeat. I'd be like,
I
baby
believe it.
girl, let's fuck and let's rule the galaxy,
Of
right?
course. Of course you try to get into Daisy Ridley pants. I mean, she's attractive. She's
She is
attractive.
attractive.
She's very pretty.
But then again, I feel like at this point I'm attracted to any woman on TV and movie or film. I don't know. Because there's like a level of standard there, especially for dudes and women. Just all people, you know?
Yeah.
There's not much body standard or there's a lot of body standards going on, especially in like blockbusters, you
Yeah.
know?
And it feels like it's sometimes more so for the guys than women because
Oh yeah,
recently women have
definitely.
been the whole love your body no matter what shape you are, which is great for self-esteem. I am completely for that. But it's
Hmm.
if the guy is slightly pudgy or dramatically overweight, they're going to get body shamed.
Yeah. And same thing goes with women too.
Yeah, it's still going to happen because there's always the narcissist.
Yeah, like how an Endgame, I don't think Thor was accepting of his body at all and
No.
played off the laughs. We need
Yeah.
a serious 20 episode TV drama about Thor struggling with his weight problems in between Infinity War and Endgame.
Or
I
between Endgame and Thor Love and Thunder.
yeah,
We might get that in like the first 20 minutes of Thor 4. Just
I
him
would
getting
love,
ripped with Star-Lord.
you know how Homecoming has that post credit scene with Captain America in the detention video?
Yeah.
We should have one of those for the next big MCU movie where it's just a Thor workout video.
he's vlogging with Korg and you're just seeing him struggle to lift up a 5 pound pink weight.
Yeah. He has what are those things like the
Shake
one
weight.
the shake weights, yeah.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
Plus one's already oh wait, Asgard's destroyed. I was gonna say there's one on Asgard. Because
Yeah.
in Ragnarok,
Actually,
Scourge has
speaking of Asgard, with new Asgard being, I didn't notice this until I saw a video on it. Literally yesterday, new Asgard takes place in Tonsberg, in Norway. That is the place where the frost giants attacked in the beginning of Thor 1, and where in Captain America 1, where the Tesseract was found beneath Yggdrasil. That's
yeah.
awesome.
That town is a terrible place to live.
Yeah, you don't want to be there during the Dark Age, during the Middle Ages, during World War II, or if you hate Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, exactly. We're getting off topic though.
Yeah.
So
Second
what's the
one
next
on this
movie
list is when a prosecutor introduces a surprise witness or evidence in the middle of the trial, you would get disbarred for pulling something like that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like that is a no-no in court.
Yeah, that is not an actual thing. I've seen people like Attorney Tom and Legal Eagle disprove that.
I think
If you did that,
yeah.
there are times where you could reconvene a trial, but not in the middle of it. That's not how the legal system works.
Right. Two shows that I feel like handle court cases pretty realistically. I think Daredevil does it well, and I really miss Daredevil. I want it on Disney Plus so bad. But also Better Call Saul. Those two shows really like do the whole court thing super well. And
I've
in the
heard
case
really
of
good things about
yeah,
Better Call Saul.
oh dude, Better Call Saul is so good. And although it helps to have seen Breaking Bad, due to it being a prequel, you don't really have to. It is such a good show, and I'd highly recommend it. Its final season is coming up soon, so
Yeah.
that's also cool. Yeah.
I have never heard of this movie trope. This is probably from a TV series. If any woman between the ages of 16 and 50 vomits, it means they're pregnant.
I don't think I've heard of that one either.
I've never
That,
heard of that. The only time I've ever seen a girl vomit on TV was weirdly enough the one time I watched Glee with my mother. And
oh
I
yeah.
was like 10.
Fuck pregnancy tests. If the bitch catches bubonic plague, that's how you know she's pregnant.
Yeah, if she just empties her stomach through her mouth, there's your pregnancy test. You're a mother. Congratulations. When
Exactly.
someone is fighting another person, falls to the ground, reaches with their hand, and magically there's something there that they can use to end the fight.
What? And there's something on. Oh wait, so is it like they find something?
Yeah, they find something
Uh,
just magically or conveniently. Uh,
See, I've seen it, but I can't remember like where I've
yeah.
seen that one from.
Closest thing I could think of this is Endgame, which at this point, if you haven't watched it, it's been what, 2 years
Yeah,
now? Year and a
it's
half?
yeah,
You've probably seen it. So, still minor
probably
spoilers actually major spoilers going forward.
just
Um,
for everything.
yeah, for
Like
everything.
if it exists, we're gonna spoil it.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Citizen Kane or every movie on the planet, stop watching now.
If you haven't seen any major pop culture movies,
Yeah,
um,
Sean is a sin.
Captain America: Lifting Mjolnir. That's
Yeah,
probably the closest thing I could think of. Um,
let's just like we should have a segment where we just like spoil the newest thing. Just that we won't even like announce it either. We're
just
just gonna say
immediate
it.
spoiler.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's probably the only thing I could think of that comes to there. This is probably more so in kids shows, and even then, it's more of a flashback scene. Maybe closer to
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok, where he gets the vision of Odin speaking to him, and he
Which,
realizes that he
to
is
be
the god
fair,
of thunder and not the god of
yeah,
hammers.
yeah. I feel like just that line alone kind of saves that scene. Like, what are you, the god of hammers? Like, this is the
Anthony
best line in
Hopkins,
the MCU.
great actor.
Yeah, like IMO, that's the best thing ever said in the whole MCU. The god of hammers. I love that. Please, can we make that a what if? Someone get Disney on the line. Man, I'm gonna at them on Twitter.
Okay, number 5. I hate that the funny fat best friend or the quirky black guy on the side or the smart Asian kid who has a cameo. Like, damn, marginalized people can be the main characters in story that aren't just about their trauma.
Ned Leeds. Sorry, what?
It's true. Yeah, marginalization, I understand that. It also depends on who's writing, what's being written, what the envision is it does it have historical context, etc.
Right.
But yeah, I can agree with that. That could probably be overused, especially when it's I feel like this was a lot during early 2000s Disney TV.
Definitely.
Cuz that just sounds like Disney TV or Nick at Night.
Oh, dude, Nick
I'm
at Night. You're
immediately
giving me
thinking of George
flashbacks.
Lopez for some reason.
Bro, now you're giving me even more flashbacks. George Lopez was a banger. It's one of those shows that like I could never watch again because I know it won't be as good as when I
You
saw
also
it as a
can't
kid.
watch it today because of
Oh,
today's
what?
modern standards. It would get canceled.
Well,
Maybe.
the only thing from that show that I could definitely see being a no-no is that episode where he pretends to hang himself and then tries to get his kid to also do the same prank.
Oh my gosh. Um, when they turn on the TV at the exact moment a relevant news report starts.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is overused a lot. This
Yep.
is um yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Avengers, I think Spider-Man Far From Home. Yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home did this, but it was more Peter walking in at the right time. Um yeah, this is just overused.
Yeah, get rid of it. I don't like it. I'd rather have like a scene like let's take Far From Home for example. I think it would be not only funnier but a lot more like relatable if he finds out after the fact. You know, like if the main character was kind of too late to do something, and then they're like, ah, shit, you know,
Are we talking more at the end when he figures out his identity or more with Mysteria's introduction?
Mysterio's introduction. Um, that identity thing, like Far From Home, is like such a good movie up until like the last 45 minutes. I
Yeah.
like genuinely, and here's my problem with MCU Spider-Man. It kind of takes all the fundamentals of the character and kind of rips it away. And it's weird because his villains have like a lot more continuity than he does in the sense that like they're a lot more accurate and in some cases better. I think Mysterio, for example, still like contains Mysterio's fundamentals, but it's just better overall in the MCU.
He
Same with
was
Vulture.
very enjoyable, and Jake Gyllenhaal did a great job.
Oh God, yeah. I really wish they hadn't already used Mads Mikkelsen for Doctor Strange because I feel oh dude, a Mads Mikkelsen Norman Osborn.
Ooh, maybe Lars
Oh yeah.
Mikkelsen, his brother.
Oh maybe, yeah, yeah. Let's just
Um,
cast like the Kurt Russell's son to be every single antagonist now. Can that be the standard?
Wyatt Russell is a phenomenal actor. I
He
loved
is.
his job as
Yeah.
U.S. agent, and I can't
Oh
wait
my
for his
God.
TV
Yeah.
series.
Oh, he's getting a TV series?
Yeah, it was announced that he will return.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that.
The misunderstanding trope where the significant other walks in on their spouse doing something that looks kinda suspicious without context and goes, "Wait, I can explain." 1 or 2 hours later, the partner goes, "Why didn't you just tell me when you weren't cheating on me?" I think that's why I hate rom-coms. Well,
Yeah,
your problem is you're watching a romantic comedy.
I prefer scenes like that where they're like a quick joke, you know?
Yeah, I think Far From Home did it pretty well to where it was also
It keeps going back to Spider-Man and the MCU. What is it?
we're just big fans of Marvel, and that's like the main
Yeah,
thing we watch. It's
yeah.
Marvel, Star Wars, and we just play a lot of Xbox.
Yeah, and I am also on day 2 billion of begging for for Daredevil to come back. It is okay, in my opinion, genuinely, and I know a lot of people might not like this, but I think Daredevil is the single greatest thing to come out of the MCU. Period. I like a lot of people could point to like Infinity War and stuff, and those are really good movies, right?
Yeah,
Great movies. But I think Daredevil's just whole style, like its characters, its drama, it's just so fucking good. Like I keep telling people, if you have Netflix, because it's not on Disney Plus, because sadness, if you have Netflix, watch it. And the thing is, it's kind of like in this place between is it canon or non-canon? Because we know Luke Cage that's no longer canon because the antagonist of the first season, he's playing Blade now. So, like,
yeah,
you know, gonna have to hope and pray.
yeah. I mean, going on MCU, my favorite movie isn't even like Infinity War or Endgame or Iron Man 3, original Iron Man or anything. Mine's Captain America 2, The Winter Soldier.
I love Winter Soldier. I
I
actually
think it's probably one of the best, if not the best movies
here
because
here's a little
it feels
secret.
the most
Yeah,
realistic for a
well,
Marvel
yeah,
standpoint.
it does up until like he jumps out of it out of fucking VTOL and like does a whole like revengeance thing. But here's a little secret. I actually hadn't seen Winter Soldier up until about 2 weeks ago.
You haven't?
Yeah, I
Wow.
watched it for the first time 2 weeks ago, and I was blown the fuck away.
Yeah,
Um,
I gotta cosplay Bucky in that movie. I
it'd be
love
a pretty like
his job in that.
it'd be an easy cosplay depending on how far you want to go with the metal arm. I've seen these really funny images of people who have like duct taped Bucky arms.
Do you know
Like it's
how much it costs for a proper cosplay?
how
It's like
much?
$240 for a Winter Soldier one
200.
from that
Do
movie.
you know how much it costs for a Spider-Man Raimi cosplay?
Isn't it like 2,000?
3,000.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god, that's nuts. Um Back on topic. When teenagers are ripped beyond belief looking like they're 26.
Yeah, yeah. We were just talking about it. Tobey Maguire and
Toby Maguire,
Spider-Man.
well, he was in his early 20s as Peter Parker.
He looked 30.
He
Let's be
looked
honest.
I
He
think he
looked
was
30.
30.
That
Toby
man.
Maguire's age. He's like the only American act. He was 30 when he played Spider-Man.
Yep. And wasn't he
He's the
supposed to be
only
like 70 for that
American
movie?
actor to play Spider-Man because you have Andrew Garfield, he's American British, and Tom Holland, he's full English.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I also immediately think when I think of this trope, I think of probably the remake of Red Dawn. Well, then again, Chris Hemsworth's guy is supposed to be this early college kid. So he's probably
Right.
about 1920. But he was in his 30s and he's jacked beyond belief. We've all seen Chris Hemsworth.
Oh yeah.
He's a bodybuilder at this point.
He do okay, okay. So I learned what his secret is. I learned what a lot of like these people do in all these blockbuster movies. Everyone does this except for like Henry Cavill. It's called the chicken and rice diet, where it's like that's all they eat. And like apparently you could get to that level in like a month. The only downside is you are only eating chicken and rice, like the two driest like foods ever. And like the from what I can tell, these aren't like seasoned or like prepared. Like this is boiled chicken and rice, and white
Oh my.
rice.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
it sounds like hell, but it doesn't sound like as much hell as what fucking Henry Cavill does. Do you know what he does? Is it
Sure.
Cavill or Cavill? I
I think it's Cavill.
Cavill. He dehydrates himself to like get in shape faster.
Yeah, he did that for The Witcher.
Yeah, it like sure the results are really nice, but I bet that dude's like passing out at at
No,
every other
he only
turn.
did that for The Witcher.
Oh
When
yeah?
he did Superman, he did normal bodybuilding. But it's also because they wanted Geralt to look mystical, to look inhuman. So
Right.
first
Oh,
day before 2 days
yeah.
before filming, 2 liters of water. Day before, 1 liter of water. Second day, dehydrate.
Ooh.
So you just drop the water weight. You look incredibly skinny and a lot of muscle definition.
Right. Oh, by the way, rip Henry Cavill Superman.
Yeah,
And I actually
on
wanted to
his
get into this a little
birthday.
bit. On his birthday. And I wanted to get into this a little bit. Because it really kind of hurts me personally in the sense that there are so many DC characters who are black or have like African American descent who they could have gone with and they could have had like much more representation and shown like a lot of people in the mainstream these cool characters. I mean, a lot of people like to point out especially show these characters without like sacrificing your current cinematic universe. A lot of people like to point out John Stewart Green Lantern, but honestly, he wouldn't be my first choice if you know I were DC and WB told me to make a
Yeah.
movie
I
with
mean, Snyder was going
what
to do it, and I think he would have done a good job.
yeah. My first pick would have been Static Shock. Static Shock is so fucking cool. Like okay, I've been telling people for years. If you're even if you're not a fan of DC, please for the love of God, watch Static Shock. And the best part is his comic, it got like a reboot recently. And he looks clean as hell. Here, let me in the Discord, we could probably pull this up on screen. Let me send you a picture of what Static Shock looks like now. Because like before his costume had a very 90s aesthetic, but it still looked good. He has never had a bad costume. Like ever. it is impossible because he's so fucking rad. Hold up.
Yeah, pull it
Let
up
me
on
pull this up.
general and I'll see if I can pull it up.
All right. Let's keep talking because I'm gonna have to like scroll down a little bit.
Yeah. Um, Other main tropes that get annoying. I mean, obviously there's the Stockholm syndrome.
Oh yeah, the whole get hit in the head, have an amnesia thing. Yeah.
The whole amnesia or the game theory Beauty and the Beast where Belle eventually falls in love with Prince Adam and or the Beast
All right.
and just ends up just going back right in time to save him from Gaston. Great movie. I still love Beauty and the Beast. It's one of my favorite Disney movies, and it's an absolute classic. But Stockholm Syndrome is a bit overused.
By the way, I put those images in the general chat. The third one there was his old costume, from his like old TV show. Uh,
All
all of
right.
these are clean as hell. We could have had a live action version of this absolute Chad.
I mean, all three of these could have been really cool, really fun. Because the top one looks very much like a. Like, the top two look very much like a. This is a fresh costume, this is homemade. Then the bottom one looks like he took his time and got it almost professionally done.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. Fun fact about Static Shock. There was like those after school specials
I
that are
think
like
so.
PSAs. Static Shock had one about gun violence, and someone gets shot in it. It's like the only time in the series anybody gets like really like hurt like that. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, but I love
Um,
Static Shock. I think he's great.
when people just park anywhere, when they're running into City Hall or the courthouse or the police station or an airport or wherever, they just park here, literally right here in front of the door. Not only is
Yeah,
that
I
illegal, it's not physically possible in most cities or towns. They never show
mhm.
our heroes
Yes.
schlepping it from the parking lot 2 blocks away.
See, as a person who lives like right next to like a pretty decently sized city, like I live like around the Scranton area, right? Um, yeah, it is a pain in the ass to find any parking in like any city, period, right?
Yeah, when I lived back
And
up in
if you
Illinois,
park anywhere, yeah.
Chicago, total bitch. Tampa, total bitch. When I went to 98 Rock Fest, it was rock music festival where I saw 3 Days Grace.
Oh yeah.
It took I went there with my ex back when I was still dating her. It took her dad like 20 minutes to find a parking spot in one
Oh
parking
yeah.
garage.
Yeah. Parking in cities always a pain in the ass. And not to mention, I just want to see and this would be perfect for like a Spider-Man movie. By the way, please for the love of God, put that dude out of high school. Um like maybe he's like parking somewhere like as Peter Parker. I don't think he'd like swing anywhere and he needs to like find like a parking ticket. Maybe his car gets towed. He needs to swing back to like his house or something every night
I mean,
because like
if
he
I was Spider-Man, I'd have those web shooters on me
yeah.
at all
Mhm.
times.
Speaking of which, one of the biggest things that and I mentioned it before, one of the biggest foundational flaws that the MCU has, and this does not count Homecoming. I think Homecoming had a really solid understanding of Spider-Man. I think the Russo brothers fucked his character so hard that I don't think he'll ever return to like the normal. And that's they don't understand that when Spider-Man does something cool, Peter Parker always like loses something in return, and vice versa.
Yeah,
If
John Watts did a brilliant job.
oh yeah, but then the Russo brothers came in and they were like, well, let's just kind of use him as a means for Iron Man. And
I
yeah,
mean,
that's fine.
thankfully,
In the Ultimate
Watts
Comics, like he
is
was kind of that was the same thing, but with Captain America, right?
yeah.
But I feel like he relies a bit too heavily on it, and a lot of people are saying, yeah, but he already made his own suit. That's a homemade suit. That doesn't count. Everyone knows that doesn't count, right? Because okay. First, he gets the normal suit from Shield, which yeah, I get it. It's what happened to Miles in the Ultimate Comics, but whatever. Even as Miles is supporting cast, which is weird. But anyways, right? So he gets the first suit from Shield. The second suit from Far From I wouldn't even say that's him making it himself. He has glasses that like make it for him. Like I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
and I understand what John Watts was trying to do, especially with John Favreau was happy being there. It was a callback to Iron Man 1. And
Yeah,
it was a brilliantly done one. And even me seeing that, I didn't see it in theaters. I wish I did. But I was not really partial. I'm still not partial to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. He's my second favorite. Tobey
yeah.
Maguire is always my favorite.
Yeah, always Toby. And I think
But
the reason it's Toby is because, see, I don't think Toby's very good at being like Spider-Man. However, I do think Toby is great at showing how relatable Spider-Man is.
he's
And
not a
that's a
good Spider-Man,
yeah,
but he's a great Peter Parker.
yeah, and that's a quality that I feel like Andrew and Tom don't really get. Tom feels a lot like Bruce Wayne on Gotham.
Yeah.
You know,
And
he feels
with
like he has everything. And like even in the comics, okay, one thing that I loathe in any Spider-Man thing is when Peter Parker is successful for a long period of time. Because what that tells me is that the people who wrote this don't really have a grasp of the character. Even in the comics when it happens, I fucking hate it. Parker Industries loathed it. I actually was filled with joy when they got rid of that fucking place, right? Because like Parker Industries are now like the new thing he has. It just kind of it removed that aspect of Peter Parker losing. How could I relate to this man if he's a billionaire? You know?
yeah, and Peter Parker is supposed to be the representation of the common late high school, early college kid. He's just
Exactly.
some kid
Yeah.
from
And plus,
Queens.
a lot of people say that, oh, it's cool that we're getting him in high school. It's more comic accurate. Bro, Peter Parker hasn't been in high school since the 80s.
Yeah. And with especially with Maguire, him going like the movie starts with him more or less just getting into college. He's out of high school. He's gone
And
through
it wasn't
puberty.
really focused on it much.
Tom
Which is great.
Holland.
I love that.
Tom Holland looks like he's about to go through puberty.
Oh yeah, I feel like Tom. Okay, I think I honestly the best representation of Spider-Man so far is I said Homecoming earlier, and I need to take it back. Weirdly enough, I feel like Civil War does the character the most justice because Peter Parker is kind of meek, he's shy, he's like really awkward.
Yeah, he's
But as
really awkward.
Spider-Man, he has that confidence. And plus you see his like abilities in full swing. He catches Bucky's punch, twists his fucking arm. That's awesome. I
Like
love that. He's
nothing.
cracking jokes. Yeah, I love it. In Civil War, I fucking loved him. Right? He's
Yeah.
awesome. Right? Homecoming, he's still really cool. And then we get to Infinity War, where the Russos take his character and they kind of fucking smash him into the dirt. Now, granted, I think Infinity War is great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
However,
it's a
I
good
feel like the
movie.
Russo brothers have a very huge problem in which they'll kind of focus on the arcs of one or two characters, but not really anybody else. Like they'll focus on two of the protagonists and the antagonists, but no one else. And this especially hurts with characters who don't have much screen time, mainly Spider-Man. Because one in
Yeah.
these movies, we
He
see
only
him
had one
kind of
movie
drop.
out.
Yeah, yeah. In Infinity War, we see the Russo brothers drop another fundamental of his character, him wanting to keep his identity safe. Uh, and they also don't know how Spider Sense works, because there is no way that Peter would not have been able to see Star Lord coming. There is and especially since Kevin Feige confirmed, and the movies also suggest that this version of Spider-Man has the same level of power as 616, right? So there is no way that this dude could not have been able to see Star Lord coming. And even then, I bet your ass that fucking like iron spider suit that probably could have stopped the fucking laser, right?
Yeah.
Like
It has all the abilities of his base suit, which means it has Karen in it. Not to mention, it would have Rachel and Friday and the rest of the Stark AI network. Which means,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Star-Lord, you would have been killed immediately.
Oh yeah. Peter Quill would have been fucked.
Yeah.
He would not have been able to survive that. And also now, what's gonna happen to Aunt May? And it makes me worried for No Way Home because from what like leaks suggest, I'm worried that they're gonna do a live action one more day in some regard, especially like since the multiverse stuff. Okay, the multiverse stuff I'm also iffy on, and I know we're getting really off topic, but I'm getting really into this. I am super excited for Sam Raimi to direct a Multiverse of Madness. One, I love Sam Raimi. I think
Yeah.
since classified as a horror movie. I can't wait for a Doctor Strange Evil Dead. That's like my perfect. Like I love that shit.
If Simon
Uh,
Pegg walks in on this, I mean, Shaun of the Dead and mixed with Doctor Strange, I think that'd be funny.
oh yeah. But it also opens the door for Spider-Man to get like a status quo reset. And here's the thing, that comes with some pros and cons. The biggest pro would be we'd probably get a much more accurate version of Peter Parker going forward that isn't just Miles Morales. And by the way, the worst version of Miles Morales, I've always said this, always. Comic book Miles Morales is really lame. Oh, okay, from his debut up until I'd say 2016, comic book Miles Morales was really, really lame, and I did not like him. Um, Now he's really cool. I think it took until Spider-Verse came out for
It,
writers to
it also
really
brought
like
Miles into the main light.
reinvent him. Uh,
Because
it,
before Spider-Verse, and I'm going to catch flack for this, I never heard of Miles Morales.
yeah, a lot of people didn't. I
And
don't blame you for that either.
yeah,
And a lot of people like they kind of don't get him as a character because the comics are why. And the reason I didn't like him is because he was just like Peter, and that's because his writer Brian Michael Bendis, he had a great goal. He because he was like, I want for people who are minorities to have like a good superhero to relate with. You know, and plus the Ultimate Universe at that point was already ending, so he was just kind of like throwing shit like off the walls, and I respect that. I respect that a lot.
yeah, you're
However,
able to kind of
the
go
characterization,
nuts with it.
yeah, and the character, but the characterization he provided. Granted, at first, I really liked the angle of him trying to be Spider-Man to the point where he gets like a Halloween costume with like little fucking arm pads and knee pads, and like all the other superheroes are like, "What the fuck? That's super disrespectful. Go fuck yourself, kid." You know, I think that's awesome. But even once he gets his own suit, once he gets his own identity, he's still doing that. Like he's still trying to be Peter, and the dialogue feels like he's being Peter, and it doesn't help that his supporting cast was all kind of like middle of the road. I think Aaron Davis was kind of a meh Prowler at first, which is weird because now he's like the best one, the default Prowler now. I thought that his parents were kind of weird, which is strange because honestly, I feel like giving Spider-Man parents is a pretty interesting angle. It separates him from Peter, gives him much more of a support system. You know, I think Genki's also really cool, but
It's
Genki's
also
never.
Spider-Man with parents. That's even riskier, and it's kind of cool with the Ultimate Universe going away, and it was very much balls to the wall. You could kind of get away with a lot more and just kind of test stuff out there. It was like a public beta. And
Oh yeah.
with Spider-Man having parents with Miles Morales, that's a big risk.
Oh,
And
definitely.
for the character, for the comics as a whole. And especially if it's people to where you hate the idea of Peter Parker having his parents, or the whole he only has Aunt May, or only a mother figure instead of with the father figure being killed off. It's really cool with that. You want to get
Right.
back on track?
Which track? Because we diverged quite a few times.
Back to movie tropes. We need to get back to this.
All right, all right.
When people say, as you know, I hate it when movie characters say this because it's the most obvious way of explaining exposition to the audience.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
Endgame did this with the Infinity Stones, mostly because you and I are comics readers. We explore the universe a lot. With people that don't know stuff like the origins of the Infinity Stones, or they just haven't seen the rest of the MCU movies, that's good.
Yeah.
But if you've at least been half awake for any of the movies, you'd understand it. It gets annoying.
Yeah, especially since it's brought up every time. I think it was Thor: The Dark World that introduced them first, and every single cosmic-ish MCU movie has involved them, and each one they're explained again. Like it was fine in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's
Yeah,
fine there.
because
However,
we
yeah,
never really saw the Power Stone until then, and it was kind of it was a refresher, especially because no
exactly.
one really watched Thor: The Dark World or remembered it.
And yeah, no one even liked it. No, I didn't even like it. I thought it was boring as hell.
I think it had the
Uh,
second best Loki outfit.
mhm. And then you go to Infinity War. Again, kind of all right, but it's just annoying in Endgame. This is a two-parter movie. Why
Yeah.
the hell would you go see Endgame without seeing Infinity War? Like,
It's
what's the
also
point?
in Endgame when they're planning their time heist. They spend, I think, 10 minutes of a 3 hour movie explaining the Infinity Stones and what they do, and half of that is Thor breaking down over Natalie Portman. That
Yeah,
is
it's just kind of
wow.
weird. Yeah.
When I rewatched that, I
Remind me
rewatched that
next
like a week
podcast
ago.
to like get some water up here with me. I'm getting thirsty.
Yeah, you gotta do that because I'm gonna go on this little rant. When I
All right.
rewatched Thor: The Dark World, I mean, when I rewatched Endgame and I saw that, I just had to skip it. It is so uncomfortable, and I understand that he wants this. They want this little character moment for Thor, and it really comes up again when he goes back to, I think, 2013 Asgard. It's just so awkward because of it. We don't want to remember Thor: The Dark World. It's the least. I think it's the most negative reviewed MCU movie, and is always in my bottom three for them. Either consistently number two or number three of my most hated movies. And I like the Thor films. I love Thor 1 and I love Thor Ragnarok. But Thor 2 is so awkward. It felt rushed. It felt like an amalgamation, kind of like how Iron Man 2 was. And it's just so annoying. I can't stand it. Now, there's probably going to be a few Thor 2 stands, and if you are, I
There are
completely
Thor 2
respect it.
stands? I don't believe
They
it.
probably exist.
I do not believe it. The only Thor 2 stands out there are the people who, like the dudes who are into Agents of Shield. Those are the people who like Thor 2.
That's about it. That's about it. And even then, Agents of Shield has been proven to be non-canon.
Yeah. And then bringing Phil Coulson back was weird. I also think it's weird that they didn't start with a Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider. I
Yeah,
love Robbie Reyes, but
Nick
it
Cage.
was weird. Yeah, Nick Cage.
When characters are about to kiss for the first time and they get interrupted every damn time, how many fucking times are they going to write that? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's overused.
Mhm.
It's annoying, especially when there's all this tension and it finally feels like it's a low point, low as in low tension point, to where you
Yeah.
can have this. Just let
And the
it
person who,
happen.
and the person who always interrupts it is always the comic relief character.
Either the comic relief or the father of typically the girl. I think I've seen it twice where it's the father of the guy.
hmm
I think
And
I've
and this
seen
is, this
someone.
is a new rule. This is a new rule. Every time I see that in a movie, I'm going to give that movie a 0 in my head, unless the person interrupting them is played by Nick Offerman.
The only time I think where I felt okay with this was I think it was a parent scene to where it was the mother and the father and they were about to kiss and they got interrupted by the kid and the kid just said, "Oh, I'm sorry, continue." And he
Yeah.
just walked away. I think that's fine because it's poking fun at the trope.
hmm
But if you just do, it's stupid.
Yeah, definitely.
When a character explains something in technical language and the other person says, in English,
Oh
it's painfully
no.
unfunny and overdone. Yes, we all know technicians have their own language. My dad worked in a fiber optics company. He has explained to me multiple times technicians have their own language and they need to have someone translate. This doesn't happen with everything. Computer coding, you can still explain that in
I
English.
do I code and I explain it all the time and like people understand. I can break down my code pretty good, pretty simply. And even use technical terms and
Yeah.
I have never gotten Englished, like it's simple. You just break it down easily. I think it sucks too, especially in movies like the whole like making up like fictional things that just throw words. Like there's a computer hacker who goes, "Well, I connected it through the mainframe, through the CPU motherboard." What's that mean? What does it
Yeah.
mean?
Or movies will just put quantum in front of everything.
Yeah.
Quantum
I just my
mechanics
quantum
doesn't
credit
work like
card.
that. Quantum coding, I don't think is a thing. Quantum engineering, I'm pretty sure that's closer to rocket science. I think rocket science would make more sense.
Yeah. God, it's crazy.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
when
that's
I'm
a trope I really
explaining
don't like.
art or drawing when I was making logos for my cousin, he understood what layers meant. He understood what masking is. There's no need for a in English. No one uses that except maybe one time. I think I said it once when I was at a Future Business Leaders of America thing in high school, and I said it as a joke
Yeah.
because I was just being an asshole to my friend. Everything about being knocked out in real life, if your head is hit hard enough and to render you unconscious, it's called a concussion. It's not something you could just wake up from. Yep. I also hate when they wake up at the most convenient time for this.
Yeah. Hmm.
I understand main character, you're gonna have some plot armor, but seriously.
Oh, geez, hang on. Just an update from our little science experiment. I could feel the 5 hour energy in my bone, like my veins. I am like, oh Lord.
I haven't even had like an energy drink in like a week, and I haven't had G Fuel in like a month.
Hmm.
And you down to 5 hour energy, which is like pure caffeine.
Yeah. I like. Honestly, I feel a little limber. I'm not gonna lie. I feel kind of hyped. You know what I mean?
When a date is made and they just conclude by, okay, see you at 8. Like, when are we meeting? What are we going to do? What do I have to have? Do I have to have dinner before? What will include drinking? So do I have to leave my car at home? What do I wear?
I'm not sure if I agree with that trope because okay, or at least that trope being a necessarily bad thing.
Yeah.
Because like usually when that's said, the other person has already agreed to the date, right? And there is nothing better than a surprise date. As in you pick the person up and then you just like take them to like a location, surprise them a little.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to like kind of make yourself look a bit more suave. Maybe you take them to like a fancy Italian place or like you
Yeah,
take
not
them
to
somewhere
mention,
fun.
if you're going to do this, most of the time, especially if most of the time one person will be picking someone up, so they know one person is not going to be drinking, or they will have only one drink, and that'll be very early in the evening, especially if they're spending multiple hours outside.
Right.
Neither of us contend drinking and driving or drunk driving. Um,
Yeah.
Most of the time, they'll also have some details planned, or they'll say, wear something nice, wear smart casual, be casual, wear whatever you normally wear.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, because if it was a very fancy restaurant, you would have planned this out probably weeks in advance. Because reservations are a bitch to get done. I did one for senior prom. I hated it. I had to book it out like a week and a half in advance.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't just do it the night before. And if you try to get a walk-on night, especially during prom season, during late
Yeah, it's
April
impossible.
to
Mhm.
mid-May, it's possible, but it's very unlikely, and wait times are a long time.
Yeah, because I guarantee, if you're looking at like the fanciest place in town, you're trying to do like a walk-in reservation thing, not gonna happen because like seven other rich white couples have already booked it, right?
Or just 7 other rich couples in general.
Yeah.
When characters say you have to trust me or there's no time to explain, in 9 out of 10 cases there's definitely time to explain, and the explanation would take less time than you trying to convince the other party just to trust you. Yep.
Wait, hang on. Before we talk about it, let me explain why I said rich white people. And it's because something I have noticed, white people tend to, as a white person, right? White people tend to do like go out of their way to do like unnecessary stuff. And I was thinking about this a lot recently because I recently had my senior prom and it was like, why the fuck do you go places like nice afterwards? Like you already like went somewhere. Now, some of my other friends, they had the right idea. You go bowling after prom, right? There is nothing better than going to a fancy like place and then turning into Jeff Bridges, right?
Just becoming the dude.
I am the Big Lebowski, right?
I, the weird. The
You gotta be
weirdest
so
thing is
casual
now I
after
can
being so
picture you
fancy.
walking into the limo in a tuxedo, dropping the cummerbund, ditching the jacket, keeping the shirt and tie and pants on, but just throwing a robe on top.
Yep. Take us to the bowling alley, table for two. You know.
I mean, when I did dinner at prom, it was before, and sadly, it's as much as I would have loved my senior prom to have had a limo service, it didn't.
Look, limos are cliched, right? Now this is a little
We
tip.
also
This
couldn't
is
get with it because right before there was something bad happened to a couple in a
right.
party bus, so they were banned for that year.
So this is a little bit of a chems to classified prom night survival guide, right? Do something extra, but not extra to the point where it's weird, but extra to where it's like surprising and you seem a bit quirky. Fuck limos. Pull up in a clown car, right? No one's expecting it, right? You'll be the only person who does it. And a lot of people say clown car. I'd get embarrassed. Who fucking cares if you'd get embarrassed? You're a senior in high school anyway. You got a
There's
few
gonna be
months.
that junior that pulls up in a Prius. You could always be worse off.
Exactly. And plus, you're gonna go to college soon, right? You're not gonna know any of these people later. You're not gonna talk to anyone from high school,
Then again, it
right?
was with me and four
Move
friends, and
on.
I still talk to my entire high school team.
Even more of a reason to get a clown car. If you're going with friends, this isn't a romantic thing. This is you are with your bud, cruising up to a prom in a clown car. That is so fucking hilarious. Seeing a clown car pull up and seeing four fucking people with fucking a suit and tie coming out of that bitch. That's awesome. That's
Well, I mean,
amazing. I
you
wish I
try
had done
fitting 3 guys and 2 girls in lengthy prom dresses into a smart car. Thankfully, my dad has a Ford Explorer, and we were able to fit everyone in there. But still, that's a nightmare.
Look, you just gotta trust me. Trust me. Pull up in the clown car. In fact, if there's
I'll tell my
anyone
brother to do that next year for his senior prom,
if there is anybody,
but I'm not
listening
driving
to
him.
this, I will give out a $10 Steam gift card. If anybody sends me a video of their next prom, them and like the person they're bringing or like a friend pulling up to it in a clown car, or at least getting into the clown car.
Or
That event.
or a smart car if you can't get a
Yeah.
clown car.
This is a $10 Steam gift card bounty I am putting on this. And you need to verify that it was actually like you. Because it's $10 and I'm a bit of a cheapskate, so I need some evidence. You know?
Yeah. The only thing I would ever say in my prom survival guide is do not drink the punch.
Yep. Like
This is
heroin.
this is from a actual kind of scary story from when I had my senior prom.
Oh yeah?
I went there with my friends and I ran into my friend Connor and his date Chloe. The punch got changed from blue to red maybe about an hour in after they have had 3 cups. The punch was roofied.
Ooh.
5 people passed out.
How strong were those roofies to which it causes the punch to change its primary color?
No,
Like, that's not-
they took away the blue punch and they instead put red punch.
Oh, okay. How did they do? They replaced the entire punch.
No, the staff replaced the punch.
Staff. The staff.
The staff
Okay.
replaced the blue punch with red punch. afterwards.
That would have been a like, and it's terrible for roofies to get in anything. However,
Yeah.
I can't get this hilarious mental image out of my head of some dude stealing a punch bowl and just like Indiana Jonesing like a new punch bowl in.
Oh my god. There would have been this guy in my high school that would have done that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I could see him doing that.
Oh Jesus.
It'd be obnoxious and it would be one really entertaining night. But it
Yeah.
was actually really scary seeing that happen because Chloe almost passed out. Connor damn near passed out. And he forgot about an hour and a half of the night for 2
Oh
months.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was weird because me and my date, that me and her, we were best friends throughout all of high school, and we dated back in middle school. Um,
Right.
her and I, we were more or less just being like the parents for them because Chloe was a junior, not a junior. She was a junior, and Connor was a freshman, and that was scary. That was really terrifying to see happen because you don't want it to happen to you, and seeing it happen to others, especially people you're close friends with for years, that's horrible. Um, Here's one that's not on the list, but I feel like has to be brought up: the constant remake of classic movies.
Yeah. Well, okay. It depends on how it's handled. Like you don't see it like much anymore now. I feel like a lot of people point towards Ghostbusters, the 2016 one, and I feel like the biggest problem with that, although I thought the movie was bad, I feel like it wasn't bad enough to where like it warranted the hate that it got. What warranted all the hate was the
Yeah.
response of the people in it. I think it was the director who like when people said it was bad, they just called everyone fucking sexist.
Yeah, I know the director did
Yeah,
that a lot. Same for
it's like
Ocean's 8. Ocean's 8 was
yeah,
just a bad movie.
it's like
It
it
was a
reminds
rip
me
off
of
of
one guy.
11.
I think his name was like Uwe Boll or something. He was this director who made a bunch of like video game movies, and he challenged his critics to a fucking boxing match to beat the fuck out of them. Here, let me see if I could find it here.
The director of 2016 was Paul Feig.
Yeah, I found it. Uwe Boll boxing.
Uwe Boll director. What has he done?
He did the Postal movie. I know that, but
I never
he's
saw
done like
that.
a lot of really bad ones. Here, I'm
Um.
gonna just for the video version, I'm gonna put a picture in general of him boxing one of his critics.
Oh, jeez.
Here, I just put it in general.
What?
Yeah.
That's Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's very very crazy.
Now, let's look up Uwe Boll movies.
Um.
He did Rampage.
He
He did
did
a lot of
Rampage.
Rampage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Assault on Wall Street. See.
Far Cry 2008. There was a Far Cry
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, there was. Oh, really bad.
I can imagine. Rampage, Capital Punishment, There was a third Rampage movie? Oh my gosh. Blood Rain? I have not heard of half of these. Alone in the Dark, Max
Ew.
Schlemming.
Yep. House of the Dead, Heart of America.
Sanctimony, The Final Storm, Blackwoods, Seed. In the Name of the King 1, 2, and 3. Tunnel Rats. Okay, that's a Nom movie.
Honestly, if
Fuck You All, the Uwe Boll story.
if Uwe Boll is listening to this right now, I would like to box him. I've only ever seen Postal, and I don't remember it well enough to give like a good solid review on it. I just want to box him out of fun. So if he ever finds this, I'm ready.
Yeah, if you're watching, tweet this at Uwe. Let's
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
let's get Kem fighting him.
I just want to box him for fun.
Um, yeah, with Disney movies, like with remade classics. Um, I think the you have Pete's Dragon, Maleficent movies. Maleficent 1 and 2 I really liked.
The second Maleficent.
Yeah, Maleficent Mistress of Evil. It was a good movie. Um Mulan, we all know that was horrible, horribly reacted to.
Yeah, which sucks because Mulan's one of my
Mulan's
favorite.
a great movie.
Not
The original
it's
one
one of
I
the better
love.
original or classic animated movies. I'd say my favorite. And honestly, my favorite one of those classic animated things by like Disney and them, Emperor's New Groove. I love it so much. I think its style, its humor, although a bit outdated, I just love it. Like
It's
the
still
one scene,
funny.
yeah, the one scene at the beginning where he bumps into this old dude. He goes, "Dude, you threw off my groove," and he gets fucking thrown out a window. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
That movie you could not get remade today.
I think it could. I feel like the worst thing.
Maybe.
Okay, I actually don't want it to get remade because they'd make it live action, and that movie in a live action setting, it would not carry the same charm at all.
No.
Yeah.
I don't like Beauty and the Beast's remake. Okay, I half like it. There are good scenes to it. But my main problem is Gaston in that movie. And I love Luke Evans as an actor. He does a great job in like everything he's in, whether it's Dracula Untold, or The Hobbit. But they made Gaston a complete fucking airhead in
Mm,
this movie. You know what I mean?
right.
Like he's all brawn, no brains. They said he was a captain in a war. That means he had to be intelligent. Not the stereotypical dumb blonde. I mean, why would they do that? It completely ruins him because he's supposed to be this perfect suitor and he just chooses Belle because of her beauty. But he's not a complete idiot.
Right.
Aladdin, it was an all right remake. Jungle Book I
Yeah.
haven't seen. Lady and the Tramp and Lion King, I don't want to watch it because it's kind of uncanny valley.
Right.
Dumbo, I have no interest in seeing it. Pete's Dragon, I don't even watch the original. I'm
Hmm.
just seeing like all these Disney movies. Mulan, I've heard nothing good. I have watched the trailer and I feel uncomfortable with that movie.
Yeah, I feel like I've like honestly with remakes and stuff, it's kind of I think it's a gray area because they're I can't even name a remake that in my opinion does everything like super well compared to the original.
I think the
Um,
closest one to that was probably Beauty and the Beast.
yeah, I think Beauty and the Beast hit it's somewhat of a nail on the head.
Not to
But I
mention
think
Ewan McGregor in
yeah,
that movie as
uh,
Lumiere. He was awesome.
I think a huge problem is just getting like the tone right and the like original vision.
Yeah.
Uh, Also, I think it's been an hour. I feel like we should start to wrap this up. As a little closing to the science experiment, 5 hour energy is a scam. I at most it was 25-minute energy.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this is fun. We're probably going to find a way to get this more consistent with our timing, figure out a good block that we want to do this, whether it's 1 hour or 2 hours or an hour and a half. We'll
yeah,
probably make a channel
calling it
dedicated for
soon.
this.
So
What?
yeah, uh, I'm calling it now because I have dinner soon. I don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but yeah, we could talk about that. We've decided that we're doing this every Sunday, right?
Yeah. Or as close as we can to every Sunday, unless if there's something coming up. And if so, you might get this on a Friday or a Monday,
Hmm.
depending on what we're going to do, because Chem's in Chem's about to be in summer, and I have my Fridays through Mondays are always free. Don't
Yep.
forget all of our Twitters and Twitch accounts are in the description, along with his YouTube. Give him a subscribe. He's absolutely hilarious. We've been friends for almost 2 years now, and being able to move to this podcast has been really cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you if you've made it this far. Uh, I can't wait to continue this venture
Yeah,
for as long as we
probably
possibly
finding out
can.
what we want to
You know?
do with this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Getting our
So,
footing right now. So
yeah. Inaugural episodes, pilots are always really weird to get around. You're trying to figure out your footing. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you for
wait,
staying in with
before we close, I need to ask. I I had this commenter on all of my uploads until I stopped uploading for a bit. His name was Bob Marley. He kept commenting really sus stuff on my YouTube videos. Please, if you're watching this, come back to me. I miss you so much.
Don't
Uh,
worry, you'll find Bob Marley one day.
yeah, next episode I'm gonna send a picture of like some of his comments so we can put them on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll
Well,
see you on the
thanks
next
for
episode of
yeah.
Aircon.
See you then.